Flying moon pies, beads, floats, and cruise galore mean one thing. Mardi Gras festivities have hit the streets of Pensacola. And here on campus, as one production came to an end, another one is on the horizon. Finally, biking to the beat of a live DJ and the motivation from an instructor, this facility is pumping the music while helping you burn calories. All this and more on this edition of Argo News. Good morning, UWF. It's 10:30 a.m. on March 22nd, and I'm Abigail Meganson. It's time for this week's edition of Argo News. Pensacola kicks off Mardi Gras season with its first parade of the year. Argo News reporter Hannah Walders caught up with the party downtown.
It's time to celebrate with flying beads, soaring moon pies, blasting music, and more.
It was really fun. It's fun watching all the young kids and the adults, and like I said, a lot of work goes into the floats. It's fun to throw the beads and the moon pies, and people are just so excited to see you, and just the throw here, and it's just fun to be able to throw it to people. There's a lot of cool floats. I like the way women have their floats. I like the hip huggers in Pensacola, and I like the Daisy Dukes, I think it's called, women, and all these people that do floats and work hard on them. They also do causes for people throughout the years, charity work, so I like that. I know back years ago, probably in the 80s, I had a lot of good friends that did floats. And back then, it was a lot different, the materials that they used. Now, of course, it's more advanced. And they really worked hard, almost like building a house. They put a lot of pride into it. Now, I think it's not, I mean, I know they work hard, but I think the materials available are a lot easier to work with, and there's a lot more ideas. But they work hard. I've been on floats also, and they're fun watching the people and all their excitement, how much fun they're having in the crowd, and when you get the chance to throw a small child a bead, it almost feels rewarding.
Mardi Gras celebration continues throughout the week, bringing in a variety of crafted floats and family fun times. I'm Hannah Walders, reporting for Argo News.
Coming off of their showcase of The Little Mermaid, the UWF Performing Arts Center has a new play on the horizon.
If you're trying to make weekend plans for April, consider watching UWF's production of Dearly Departed.
The play follows a family who's just lost the head of the family, the father, and they're trying to arrange his funeral. And it's all about the family coming together and realizing what is more important in their lives. What you can expect from the show is a lot of laughs, a lot of good-hearted moments. It is a show about family, so we have tried to keep it lighthearted and fun, and I believe it has a very good message behind it. So we started rehearsals about a week ago, and the first part of our rehearsal is just making sure that everybody's on the same track, everybody knows where their beats are, everybody knows how we want to start this thing. And then actually Monday is when we started getting it on its feet. We started choreographing and blocking out the set and that kind of stuff, so it was really interesting. It's really the freedom of expression and the freedom of just being creative and being with a group of people who want to do the same exact thing you do and hopefully create something special. The performances are the first 2 weekends of April. They're going to be in the Black Box Theater that's in the CFPA building, which is our fine arts building. Tickets are going to be free for students, and it's going to be a great time.
Tickets to this production can be bought online or at the UWF box office. I'm Emily Payne, reporting for Argo News.
Everybody knows that the best way to gain experience is through internships, especially when those internships focus on your area of concentration.
Internships are an important part of any graduate or undergraduate's academic career.
My responsibilities include for this internship Well, Ms. Gottlieb, my supervisor, will email me any stories that she wants to tell me about any upcoming events or features that she wants me to write about a particular person on campus or a speaker. And so she'll tell me, you know, hey Hannah, we want you to write this article, and I will have to contact that person or talk about that event, and I will ask them questions relating to when the event is, who they are, bios, all that information. And so whenever they, you know, contact me back and reply to my email, I will then go and talk about whatever they sent to me through email in my article, and I will just, it'll take me maybe a few days to write, maybe about 2 or 3, because sometimes waiting for their response, sometimes if it's a lot of information, I'm having to not only write it down, type it out, but also put it in order to where it makes sense. The stories that I write for this internship are all related to the College of Arts, Social Science, and Humanities. That's the department that I work for. I work for the Cash Dean's office, and I work under Brandy Gottlieb, who's my supervisor, and she's also the communication coordinator. So the articles that I write are any event under Cash. So if they're theater, if they're art, if they're like anthropology, archaeology, even the communications department, since, you know, communications is under Cash, and I write anything relating to that. So whether it could be, I did an article on the Voyager, how they went to a conference, and then I also write articles on art events and just anything under our department.
Whatever career path you choose to take, internships always come in handy when furthering your resume. I'm Jose Cruz reporting for Argo News.
UWF Dining has many options for students on campus, including the Argo Galley with Chick-fil-A, Which, Twisted Taco, the traditional Nautilus Market, and now a new pizza place by President's Hall.
Whether you're studying for that big test or pulling an all-nighter getting that paper finished, there's nothing quite like having a hot slice of pizza to keep you focused.
Making pizza is actually not difficult at all. It's a very simple process. You just kind of go and get your dough. You have to dock it to aerate it so it doesn't really bubble up in the oven at all. And at that point, if we did have other sauces, you just kind of pick the sauce. You'd have your 4-ounce ladle. Is it 6 ounce? You would grab your ladle for sauce, and you would just kind of sauce the pizza. Then at that point, you go into what type of toppings you want. If it's just a cheese pizza, then just cheese. If it's just a pepperoni, cheese and pepperoni. No, but if it's like a meats, a works, a supreme, whatever you want to call it, normally we put the dough, the sauce, and then we put the toppings on top of the sauce, and we cheese it after that. So we put it in the oven, and you're done. Interaction with everyone is always real fun. That's one of my best parts about the day is whenever people come in, because it helps eat away my time, and I get to learn things from them. There are lots of different types of people that come into the store, but I would probably say the people coming the most are the residents here. Other than that, it's going to be a lot of people who are like coming back from Seville and whatnot that just kind of want a midnight snack, and it's nice and conveniently located for them.
So if you too also want a hot slice of pizza, make sure you visit Bene Pizza here at UWF. I'm Ryan Keller reporting for Argo News.
There's a new spin class downtown that's growing in popularity. Argo News reporter Ali Cateo got the scoop on how Ride Society is adding their own spin to spin.
Unplug, feel the music, and find your peace. Ride Society in downtown Pensacola can help you do just that, all while still getting a workout.
So definitely think the special element that we bring here is that we digitally dial down from everything on the outside world that we're constantly bombarded with our phones, the computers, all of the kind of technology that I think a lot of the other spin studios implement. I think being in the studio without those things really helps you to kind of recenter and focus on yourself, on your body, on the more spiritual element rather than statistics or, did I turn up my knob enough to find number 7 on my bike screen? So Saturdays are usually our theme heavy days. So we have an 8 a.m. and a 9:30 a.m. theme ride. We have a 45-minute theme and a 60-minute theme. It's really fun. It kind of boosts up the party element because we're all fans of the music and really like the theme to begin with. Any of our DJ rides are like so incredible. We have a live DJ in the studio, and him and I just are kind of collaborating on the spot to where I don't know exactly what he's going to play next, but he knows kind of the flow of what I'm looking for. Breaking the body down physically to get to that moment where you've shed all the layers, and there's really nothing left other than that vulnerable side. And that's why we strategically have our meditation song placed kind of, it's like the beginning of the final lap of class, basically, to where you've gone through all the physically really demanding stuff to get to that place, and you can really tap into that side of yourself. And I think that's what really makes it different than anything else. Literally anyone could do this. Get in here, sit on the bike, have a good time, laugh, make some friends. The physical part and getting really good at it comes with time. Enjoying it and having the health benefit of being in here, it comes right away.
Come catch a ride this weekend at Ride Society. I'm Ali Cateo, reporting for Argo News.
Thanks, Abigail. I'm Hannah Walders. Accessibility is an important part of making sure students succeed academically. Argo News reporter Bailey Basso went to the SAR to find out more.
Accessibility to a good education here at the University of West Florida is different for every student. Some students may need more resources to help them get the education they need.
Our office, we help students with disabilities, which is a wide range in higher education. So that can range from students with like ADHD that might need a little extra time on a test, students with anxiety that might need to test in a quieter space, or might also need some additional time, or we have students who have attention issues and might need to record lectures. We don't do accommodations where like somebody has like diagnosis A and they get accommodation B, because somebody with accommodation A might have different types of barriers. Everybody's different. So we spend time with the student to get to know what their specific barriers are. So we have some general accommodations that are pretty common. So like the extra time for testing and the classroom accommodations and things like that. But then we also have some accommodations that are going to be more unique to certain situations. The majority of our accommodations for students or disabilities that are registered with us are what we call invisible disabilities. So those are things that by looking at the person you wouldn't know that they have some sort of diagnosis. What's interesting in higher education is a lot of the students registered with us don't necessarily consider themselves disabled. They don't consider their condition a disability, but they do need some sort of, there's some barrier to their academics, so that's where we come in to help. In higher education, students have to self-identify. It's different than in K-12. In K-12, that like a parent or the teacher can say, hey, you know, I think they need assistance, and then start the process. In higher education, it's all student-led. So the student, by self-identifying, they have to do an application with our office. That's letting the university know that they're saying they have some sort of condition that needs accommodation.
For more information, you can contact the Student Accessibility Resource Office at 850-474-2387 or at their website at uwf.edu/SAR. I'm Bailey Basso reporting for Argo News.
Clubs are wide in variety on UWF's campus, but one club is helping to grow students' faith while building relationships and looking into why we are the way we are.
Faith, food, friends, and fellowship. It's all happening in room 191 of the Communications Department.
We're a campus ministry here that covers UWF and Pensacola State College. And we're Methodist-based, but we're kind of welcoming to all different parts of Christianity. Mostly we have a Bible study on Monday night with a free dinner, and then on Thursday night we also have a later night Bible study, and then we do lots of random mission projects and fellowship things where we hang out and have fun. Well, like we always start with music. We usually play 4 or 5 worship songs, and we have a band that plays around at different churches and stuff. And so we have that. On Monday nights we have a dinner also with that. But we usually are just, on Mondays we're more looking at certain scripture and how that relates to college students. And then on Thursday nights we're more topical, so trying to think of topics that interest college students that they're facing, that they're going through, and then how that relates to their faith. And so just trying to take it deeper in, you know, why they do what they do, why we are the way we are, and stuff like that. Just show up. We have a website, they can, you know, and we're all over Instagram and all the social media stuff, but pretty much just show up. Monday nights at 5:30 and in the communications building, building 36, room 191. And so we meet here on Mondays and Thursdays. Thursdays are at 8 o'clock and Mondays are at 5:30.
If you're looking to build friendships and grow in your walk with faith, then make sure you check out the Wesley Fellowship on Monday and Thursday evenings. I'm Luke Thompson reporting for Argo News.
They say don't live in the past, but fans of the Renaissance time period did just that at a festival this past month. Argo News reporter Abigail Meganson took a trip to medieval times and has more on the story.
A faraway land teeming with pirates, queens, and knights isn't so far away after all here in Milton.
It's kind of like the closest thing you can get to a time machine because there are no time machines, so historical reenactment, recreation is the closest thing you can do, and we attempt the best we can in modern day to transform this environment into something from medieval or Renaissance times. We have something on the stage, every stage, all the time, so if you don't like what's going on stage one, then go to the next stage, there'll be something there, and vice versa, you keep going and there's something on another stage. So it's constant entertainment mixed in with food vendors and drink vendors and games and camel ride and different various diversions like that. The clothing is just phenomenal, as long as you're not a peasant anyway. You know, royalties, what most people portray. And then of course pirates too, they're very flamboyant and the dress that they have is exciting. I'd say we gear it more towards kids than anything. So we're hoping to spur an interest in history and getting outdoors and maybe, you know, into some of the martial arts that come out of the Renaissance, because sword fighting is a martial art, fencing is a martial art.
For one day, the Renaissance is here for all of us in the 21st century to experience. I'm Abigail Meganson reporting for Argo News.
The film industry is difficult to get into. However, this creative student decided to take matters into his own hands.
As a creative, it's very difficult to get the attention of others in the industry. So sometimes it's best to make your own resume.
That process of it like coming together was so fast. Like it was, I think we got together to have the table read on like Saturday night and then we had a meeting on the next week, and then we had a meeting that following Saturday to talk about like production schedule. And then I had a meeting with the head of the musical theater department, Sarah Schock, to kind of talk about how we can involve the theater department. And then that meeting was on Monday. She had talked to the head of the theater program by, I think, Wednesday. And then I had a meeting to set up auditions. I announced auditions on Thursday, and then on Saturday we had a cast. So it was a whirlwind, but it was a lot of fun. I think comedy is a lot more important than we give it credit for. I think shows like, you know, The Office and like Parks and Rec, I think those are like just as important as big dramas that are like saying something important, because like, I mean, how often have you like had a crappy day and then came home and put on an episode of The Office, or like put on Parks and Rec, or put on, you know, The Good Place? They're shows that allow us to experience a world that's not our own. It's a world where like, you know, everyone says the right thing and like everyone like lands the joke that they want to act. Over the summer we had over the summer we had a guest lecturer come in to my drama writing class at NYU. It was a friend of the professor who's on Claws. She's on Claws. She's on True Blood. Her name's Carrie Preston, and she was like by the end of her her sort of time with us, she was like, pull out your phone and make something. Doesn't matter what it is, it doesn't matter if it's bad.
And that was a look into the mind of a creative who knows what he wants. This has been Cody Graffius reporting for Argo News.
Math, the subject that most people fear. Equations, algorithms, charts, percentages. What if there was a way to learn a few tips and tricks to help you get through the course?
Math is a subject everybody needs to know, but a lot of people struggle with. Here are some tips and tricks from a UWF math professor on how to succeed.
Actually, the most common mistake that I see that's highly, that the students have a lot of control over, is not doing their homework immediately. If students would simply do their homework upon leaving class, now sometimes you have a class right after, but as soon as you can after a class, always go and do your homework. The memory retention and the improved test scores and just retaining the information for future use is much, much higher if you go and tackle your homework right after you've learned the material in a class. and practice what you just learned. Go through your PhD. Don't stop. Once you start, go all the way through. It's an excellent field, wonderful career opportunities with either mathematics or statistics. It doesn't matter. Both have wonderful career opportunities. But once you start, just go through all the way through because when you're young, or if you're not young, just while you're going through, it's much easier to continue all the way through nonstop. And the possibilities of career advancement with a PhD is remarkable.
From cost saving to wildlife saving, math and statistics are there for you. I'm Zach Zedeker reporting for Argo News.
March is usually the first time that many UWF students hit the beach, but with the winter weather lingering, now may be the time to stay inside, cozy up, and catch up on some reading.
Winter seems to really be settling in this March, so spring break might be the perfect time for you to settle in with a good book.
I'm the evening reference librarian here at Pace Library. I'm one of the co-chairs of our marketing and outreach committee, so I actually help promote the book sale. As well as when I volunteer on the day of the book sale. And basically what our students will expect is we get a lot of donations that come in throughout the year. So a lot of the books are from different areas like history or education or philosophy, so all different subjects. And we collect them throughout the year and then put them out during the book sale. And it's really a neat process. The librarians select them, and we actually go through and make sure that there is a good supply for the book sale. The prices are actually, it's pretty inexpensive. It's $1 for a paperback and $2 for a hardback. This is definitely our most popular event. We have at the last hour, we usually do a $5 fill-a-bag. So students that come in are usually happy, even at that last hour, they'll fill up bags with just full of books. And it's been a really nice event throughout the years. We're a staff of 32, so each of us have had a hand in whether it's processing the books, collecting the books, choosing the books, getting them ready on the carts in the back and cataloging. Yeah, they've been touched basically by almost everyone in the library.
Well, looks like the book sale was a huge success, at least for me. Besides, who wouldn't like to get a book for just $1? I am Rachel Bozant, reporting for Argo News.
Thank you, Argos, for tuning in to today's broadcast. We hope to see you right back here next Friday for another edition. On behalf of the entire crew and other anchors, I'm Hannah Walders saying so long.